Hello, and welcome, guys. This is the Afro Atheist, and thank you for being here to watch this awesome conversation. This is one conversation that I have looked forward to. I have looked forward to this particular conversation, and I feel so honored that I get this perfect gentleman here with me tonight. Right. So guys, strap in. This is going to be good. But while you're listening, please do me a favor and share to a couple of people so they can come in and join us as we're speaking. And also, please do not forget to give the stream a thumbs up, and hope you all are doing well. I hope you all are doing well, having a lovely weekend. So, without further ado, I'm going to invite on the stage none other. Oh, but before I do that, wait, there's something I need to get ready. Let's see. Where did it go? Oh yes, I got it. Right. Okay. So without further ado, now we're going to bring on the stage. Get ready, because this is going to be good. Right, here we go, Mr. Shawn Towers.
Hello. I like that. I like that.
Hello, Sean.
Hello, my
Hello,
friend.
and how are you?
I am doing wonderful. Yourself?
My goodness, I'm doing well. And listen, if I had a smile on my face before, now that smile has just listen, I can't even I'm sure my face is going to hurt by the end of the night. I have finally got you here, and I am so
Finally.
pleased. I am so pleased, Sean, to have you here. And you are looking dapper as usual. Looking
Oh, well, thank you.
always. Have I ever seen you without a suit? Oh yeah, I've seen you in just a shirt. I've
Right.
seen you in just a shirt, but I don't think there's ever a time I've seen you not looking like you're straight on a GQ magazine.
Well, I got a
Em,
confession.
I've seen you. You look like
So my
a
confession is,
confession.
yeah. So my confession is my professional work. I'm a security director. So I'm always like this,
Oh,
right? But
okay.
there's still truth to it because even when I don't have this on, I still
Mm-hmm.
dress the same. So it still looks like, he's always dressed up. So but that's the
So,
reason for
but
the black.
but during the day, when you're not working, during the day, do you
Mhm.
dress down? Do you just?
No, I'm still always the way you used to see me. Yeah.
My goodness!
And I
Wow,
look, I used to
you must
drive,
have an array.
I used to drive Uber. And one day I did the Uber Eats. And so I had to pick food up. And I always dress this way, right? So I go in to get the food. And the lady says, a southern lady, she says, by God, you have got to be the best smelling Uber driver I've ever smelled in my life. And then she was talking about how I was dressed, and, so this is every day. It is what it is, my friend.
Wow. Wow. I absolutely love it. I
All right.
absolutely
Thank
love.
you.
Right. It's just very unique about yourself. And listen, so we have crossed paths because we have something in common, and that is um our lack of a belief in a God. That's what's made us cross paths. And if anything, I treasure the fact that I get to meet people like you. And so I've seen your videos, and I've been in your lives, we've here and there, hello, hi, but never heard your story. how did you go from preacher to now being on TikTok speaking up against the very thing that you believed? And so this is about just hearing you, just about how did that happen? Because it, for me, it's this kind of stories that are important to get out there, because you know, normalizing atheism, normalizing unbelief, normalizing the faces of people who do believe in God. We're not people with 10 heads. We're not people that just, magically appeared from space. We are your everyday people. And so to have somebody like yourself, I can imagine that your story would be one unique story. So please tell us about yourself and your journey out of Christianity.
Right. The first thing I want to say is I did not grow up in church. I was not part of a religious household. Did not grow up in a two-parent household. My mother raised me for as long as she could until she passed away before 40 years old. And so my memories of church is with my mother's mother, my grandmother, who would take us to church on Sundays. And other than that, and I was probably anywhere between 6 and 9 years old. And so moving forward, my mom passed away. I'm an only child, so I started working at an early age, had to drop out of school in the ninth grade, and to take care of myself. And so uh, fast forwarding some more into adulthood, found myself in 1997 in New York City, Bronx, New York, where I was born and raised, um, in a scenario where I needed to make a decision. And that decision led me to North Carolina, where I was introduced to the Bible Belt for the first time. And are you still with me? I need to make sure that you're still with me. I don't have you on my end.
I'm with
Okay, now
you.
I
I'm
see you.
with you.
Oh, great. Awesome.
I've just put
Awesome.
you on yes, I've just
Awesome.
put you as on
Okay,
center
great.
stage, but
All right, so
I'm
we're
right
gonna keep it
here.
moving.
I haven't
All right,
gone
keep it
anywhere
moving.
yet.
All right,
I'm
let's
right
keep
here.
it moving. Okay. So in 1997, I came to North Carolina, and that was the first time that I was introduced to people walking up to you on the street, asking you what church you went to. They would ask you what church you went to before asking you your name, which was very unique. Never experienced anything like that before. And so I found myself in a hard scenario, basically a homeless shelter with my then wife and at that time, 4 children. No, 3. So very hard time. And so there was a woman in the cafeteria at the homeless shelter who was having Bible study. So I went in and sat down, and I would find myself getting emotional hearing, her teach. And I really didn't understand why I was so emotional. So I pulled her to the side after it was over with. She explained to me that it was God uh, basically tugging on my heart, so to speak. And so I had already, like I said, I was primed from a young person um, to believe that God is real. And when you were in a hard situation, to call out to him and things of that nature. So in my subconscious, I was already in a position where even if you were Muslim and you came to tell me about Allah, it's possible, very possible, that I would have listened at that point in time. But anyhow, after that Bible study, I read the Bible, not the entire Bible. I focused on the Gospels and then turned to the back of the Bible where it had the sinner's prayer. And there in the homeless shelter in 1997, I made the decision to become a Christian. I confessed with my mouth and believed in my heart that God raised Jesus from the dead. And I believe that the reason why I was having an emotional experience while listening during Bible study was because God was tugging at my heart. So I answered the call. And that began my Christian journey in 1997 around November. And so you just let me know. I mean, if you have any questions, I can answer those. But you let me know if you want me to go
Okay,
further or.
so no, it's okay. So you gave your life to Christ in 1997 in a homeless shelter.
Yes,
But before then, you were praying
I was not religious
for
at all.
that. It wasn't random. But did you have any introduction to Christianity? You had some knowledge of just the religion, at least, no?
I was like the average person who does not attend church but has family members that go, and you hear things, but
Right.
I had no knowledge of how to get saved. How do I become a Christian?
Mm.
I didn't know anything. So that was my first time actually sitting and listening and then following instructions in the back of a Bible. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
I don't think I've heard many of these kind of
Mm.
conversions. Most of
Yeah.
the ones I've heard is, okay, I was sat in a sermon, I still remember the sermon, I remember who it was and the date, or I was on the way and someone spoke to me. But to be on your own, reading the
Hmm.
Bible and then turning to the back
Hmm.
and following through with the Lord's no, with the prayer, the prayer
Right.
leading you to Christ at the back. And so, how did that feel afterwards? Did you find a
Oh,
church, or did you
yeah,
what
I
did you do
wound up,
next?
I joined the church, the same church that minister uh, was part of. It was a Pentecostal church, and so that would be the only church I've ever joined and was a devout member ever. That was the only church I ever joined to that degree. But anyhow, so I totally turned away from the life that I lived up until that point. I don't know what it feels like to, I hear, backslide. I've never gone to a club on Saturday and to church on Sunday. That's never happened. I've never
Right,
uh, been
backslid.
in, I'm sorry?
You never backslid.
No, no. And so I'm going to tell you why. And this is why
Okay.
I go so hard. This is why I don't, certain excuses that people give, I don't allow it because I was there. And a lot of people that I deal
Mm.
with on a daily basis were not as devout as I was, according to how they speak and how they behave. And so I totally turned away from, I left my family. I was a DJ. I totally stopped. I abandoned everything I used to do. There was no more drinking, smoking, all of that stuff. Totally stopped. There was no more other women. I mean, nothing. I had a desire for one way. She was my fiance at that time, and then we had gotten married in
Mm.
1998. But and so I felt that because I no longer had the desire to smoke, to drink, to be with one woman, I now had this desire to read the Bible, almost like how people wake up and have a desire maybe to have coffee, whatever. My desire was consistently and constantly just to read and study in the Bible every day, all day. In my
Oh,
job,
to
I was
commune
able
with
to sit
God,
down for 12
to
hours. I'm sorry?
commune with God.
Right. And
Sorry,
so
you were communing with God.
yeah, that was part of, in my, the way I believe, that was part of fellowship. I didn't I felt that if I was going to be, the Bible was my roadmap, so I had to be transformed by the renewing of my mind, which was by those 66 books. That's how I believe. And so I had to consume as much as possible and practice. So it was a joy. It wasn't burdensome at all. um it
Hmm.
was, I was happy in my faith.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we'll get to that in a minute. Because people, when I say something like that, what do you mean? Wait a minute. How did you walk away from God? Wait, what do you mean you were happy? So you experienced the love of the Lord and walk? Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'll explain that in a minute.
Yeah,
I'm just
because
speaking as
a lot of people think that we must have had horrible experiences. We must have.
right.
Someone said to me, "Oh, you must have thought God was transactional Maybe you were asking God for something and God disappointed you, and that's
Right.
why you left. I'm like, what?
No,
What?
no, no. Here it
Hmm.
is. So I was devout. I believed. And what happened with me, for the sake of time, is that my honesty took over. In other words, for about 7 to 8 years in, I started to get weary with the same repetitious messages, the same prayer lines, the same. I started to think to myself, and I was over the music ministry, so to speak. So I would record every message, and so I was up front looking at the congregation every day. And so I would notice the same people in line, and I would ask myself, and if we are saved by grace through faith and we have God's spirit dwelling within us, why does it seem like nothing is changing as far as life is concerned? You have the same issues. And then I started to go deeper. And what led to before I started to deconstruct, it was the tithing doctrine. I was one of the biggest, if not the biggest giver in my church. And it was just unsettling that a God would save someone, but then curse them if they didn't give 10% of their income. And so for me, one day driving, I was on the van actually going to on my way to church, and I looked and saw a homeless guy, and I'm thinking, I'm talking to God. I said, God, you would curse me if I fed this homeless person, and it didn't sit right. And so for about 3 months, I just studied the doctrine of tithing, but from a biblical perspective, and came to the conclusion, without a doubt, that the Bible itself did not support tithing the way that's practiced in the church. So that led to a conversation and sit down with my pastor, where I gathered all of my research and sat down with him at the place. It's called, I don't know if it's out there, it's called Krispy Kreme Donuts. We have it here. Sat down in there, and
Yes,
I
yes,
told
I
him,
know. Yeah.
yeah. So I said this. I said, if God curses a man, can that man go to heaven? He says, no. I says, good. I agree. I said, then
Mm.
when we tell people to come down and open up their mouth and believe in their heart that God rose Jesus from the dead, I said, before we tell them that they're saved, I said, we have to add to that. I said, we have to tap them on the shoulder and say, oh, also,
Mm.
you have to give 10% of your income unless God will curse you. And so basically your salvation will be forfeited. Because if God curses a man, you're not going to heaven. So it was a conflict with me, but I found that no, this is not so. And so I attempted to sit down with my pastor and show him what Malachi, the book of Malachi, and the prophet in the story was really talking about. And he actually physically pushed my notes back toward me and just told me to go find another church that didn't tithe and go there. Now, you have to
No
understand the
way.
level of devastation from that comment, because my
Mm.
dad,
Mm.
wasn't, the best dad in the world, my natural father, but my pastor was like, I looked at him as my father. I had more respect for him than my own father, natural father. And that's one of those things that they brainwash you to do in these type of churches. Anyhow,
Mm.
your family becomes secondary, or really it don't matter. It's about your spiritual family. So for him to tell me after all these years of dedicated service to my church community, whatever the case may be, giving, his answer was, get out, find another church. So that was devastating. And I still went back the next Sunday, but I didn't just leave. So that began my exit out of the my old church, and then I began to hold services or teach my family at home. So as I was at home from 2007 all the way up until I totally after deconstruction, I deconverted around 2017. And so
2017. Wow.
say it again.
2017. That be how many years? 18,
I
19,
guess it's not
20,
what,
21.
seven? What is it?
That's about 7 years. About 7 years.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's been 7 years that I have been totally deconverted. I removed myself from Christianity and no interest in any religion whatsoever. But it started with doctrine, but
Mm.
then not just that. The doctrine didn't push me away from my faith. That's what people thought. Well, you were in the wrong church. It didn't stop there. I went from Pentecostal to Calvinist. I then became Reformed,
wow.
which is the doctrine of predestination, which means God has
Mm-hmm.
already selected who will make it and who won't. And so
Hmm.
I accepted that and believed that, well, it is clear he is the potter and we are the clay, and he makes some vessels of honor, some to dishonor. But then I kept reading, it says he also makes some vessels for the day of destruction. The only reason why they are alive
Oh.
is to be destroyed. So I thought about Pharaoh and how the God of the Bible controlled his mind. He said that I might get glory out of Pharaoh. And his glory was simply to show him how bad he was and to kill him. And so I started to look at the actions of the God of the Bible, and not just that. I watched a movie called Luther, which is based on the life of Martin Luther, the Catholic monk. And we had
What,
something in
sorry,
common.
sorry. It cut out for a second there. What was the name of the movie?
It's called Luther,
Luther.
Luther,
Okay. Luther. Okay.
and it's about the Catholic monk Martin Luther. And
Right.
that was
Right.
my scenario. I was tired of all of the claims, and I knew that the Bible says these signs shall follow them that believe. And I didn't see any signs follow. I didn't see people healed. I didn't see people raised from the dead. I tried to raise two people from the dead at two different funerals. And so I know from firsthand it doesn't work.
Wait. Hang on. At the funeral, you were trying to raise the dead up, huh?
Yeah, I sat in the front. I sat up front. It was two law enforcement funerals. My old career, I used to be an officer. So I sat up front and I make sure I fasted the day before. And I
Oh my
spoke.
goodness.
I kept speaking to the body of the officer, telling him to get up. I kept saying, get up, get up. And I was angry because I knew that I didn't have any hidden sin. I knew that
Mm-hmm.
I believed that I was able to
Mm-hmm.
do it by faith.
So everything you needed to raise this man up, you had everything.
I had
The
it.
only thing was for God to just do what He alone can do.
Perform what the Bible says. Yes.
Because greater things will you do, right? Than
I'm
what
going to
He
the
did.
Father.
So
Yes.
you put all your trust and faith. How did that feel? That must be. I don't know if I would be bold enough
Oh,
to that's just wild to even think. No, my faith when I was a Christian, my faith was not that strong. I'm sorry.
right. Right, right.
Goodness.
And how I dealt with it is how most Christians in my situation are taught. And it was this. Okay, I know I had the faith. I know God is able, but he didn't do it. So it wasn't his will. That's it. And then the next time it was the same thing again. The officer didn't get up. And so I chalked it up to being, well, that's God's will. And so what happened was I didn't walk away. It was many, many years. I didn't walk away from my faith still. What happened was I was just like like the Mr. Martin Luther in that movie. I'm going to fast. I'm going to pray. I'm going to seek God. He's going to reveal himself. I'm going to find out what's going on. And I came across Ray Hagan, a former pastor on YouTube. And he made a challenge. The challenge was if anybody can find the remains of any biblical character, he'll pay their living expenses for the rest of their life. So I said, oh, this is going to be easy because I know that in the Old Testament, the patriarchs were buried with their fathers. So we just have to find out what his location is. I'm sure it's in Israel somewhere, you know. And so I was brokenhearted to find out that the trip that I always wanted to take, the trip that I always wanted to take was to the Holy Land, Israel, right? But I learned, and then I tell people the same thing. Mr. Hagen tells people the same thing. Pay attention to words. There is no tomb. There is no evidence of anything. When I say anything biblical, anything concerning this, especially the story of Jesus and miracles and things like that. I found that what they tell us when we show up to these places is This is the area, the general area where it is believed that X, Y, and Z took place. It is not a fact. And so, with that being said, yeah, I then kept going. I went back to school, and here's where it opens up. I took world religion, then I took Old Testament, then I took New Testament, then I took Jewish history. And so everything began to open up like, oh my goodness. I simply became what I never thought could happen to me. And that is I became indoctrinated. And I believed my religion because that's what I was taught. That's what I wanted to be true. But when I found out how my religion came to be, I could not turn a blind eye. When I found out that the flood story didn't begin with the Bible, that was heartbreaking. When I found out that even a Messiah story with disciples and virgin births is not unique to Christianity, it blew my mind. So I continued through education, coming across people like Hitchens, who's gone, and coming across other people like Sam Harris, Dawkins,
Right.
coming across, falling back in love with science and connecting with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and just being reintroduced to the truth, what we can demonstrate concerning our known universe. And so reality became way more interesting, way more fulfilling than imagination, because every religious person, I don't care who they are playing and doing an exercise called imagining. They're simply imagining and looking at the world, their worldview through their respective faiths. That's it. But then there's a reality on the outside of that. So that's what happened with me. I was devout until I realized that, oh wow, you had people in Jonestown who drank cyanide laced Kool-Aid, and people think, no, they were not mentally ill. There's nothing wrong with those people. That is the power of indoctrination and brainwashing. And when you talk about so-called spiritual manipulation, that is one of the most, if not the most powerful form of manipulation, because once you put a God into an idea and then say that you must obey this God and this is what this God wants you to do, and I'm the person to tell it to you, you got a problem. Yeah.
My goodness. I think something similar happened with myself as well.
Mm-hmm.
I was making my way to becoming a priest in the Church of England. The
Wow.
first year we had completed
Shame on you,
the Living
woman.
Faith course. We completed. I completed the Living Faith course the first year. The second year, I'd completed the pathways to ministry. Right, this is where you're introduced to all the paths you can take in the Church of England, and my path was set. Right, you start talking about what path you want to go. It's like guiding you through all the necessary steps. And I already, we together with my mentor, we had concluded, okay, this is what your path is looking like. But
Mm-hmm.
one thing that became apparent during the studies was, um, they start telling you, because you learn about the origins of Christianity. And in the notes, you can see, in the notes, they tell you that, um, the book of John, for example, the book of John, we assume that a man called John wrote the book of John. And I'm thinking, excuse me? When I was growing up, we were told that Apostle John, the one who walked with Jesus, wrote the book of John. How is it that these church people are assuming that John wrote John? um we assume that the book of Revelation was written by and I'm thinking, excuse me, these are things that we were taught, as these were absolutes. There was no, there's no there's nothing to be changed. And here you're saying that this is, we are assuming this. That was a shock to the system, right? But I'm grateful that they weren't trying to cover things up. They were being really honest. They're telling you
Mhm.
that, look, some of these things, they're just assumptions, but it's just what it is. So I saw that and thought, this is surprising. The church, this is church leadership. These are the next people who are going to be in charge of the church. We're learning these things and learning that, half of what you think you know as a church, they're just assumptions. That was hard. That was hard.
Exactly. Yeah. And another thing, I determined that not just the gospel message, but even the idea of original sin was
Mm,
an evil idea, and that the
yes.
entire idea of Christianity is an abusive thought. Because I tell people, let's make
Mm,
it simple. Let's make it real simple. Let's pretend that you yourself, as a young lady, let's pretend that you meet someone and this person becomes your husband, and this husband is identical to the God of the Bible. Identical. Okay. He's going to treat you identical to the God of the Bible. Usually, with those who have read the Bible and are honest about it, I usually don't have to go any further. A woman would say,
oh no. Oh, what happened? Did you hold on? I can't now. We can't hear you. Did you receive a phone call? Can't hear you now. You might need to you might okay. I think you're receiving a phone call. Originals, extra crispy KFC. Jesus. Guys, please make sure to give the stream a thumbs up, and you will be able to ask some questions if you, yeah. I will put his link in the chat. Please make sure to follow him. He does some awesome content on TikTok, and he's got a large following as well. So yes, I will. Let me just get his link, put it out there for you guys to see. Um, I hope you all are doing well. Oh, hey, the real Nordic bag. Good to see you. Doorknob. DKH. Hey. Good to see you. Henry Mars. Dean Kruger. Dean Kruger will be fast asleep now. Dean Kruger, you stayed up late, but let's see. This is a test to see whether Dean is still awake or not. Okay, here we go. He's back now.
yeah, I'm back.
Here we go.
I'm
Did you
back.
did you receive a phone call?
Yeah. And I have it on Do Not Disturb. I really need to figure out why that still happens. But anyhow, um, and
It's okay.
so,
It's okay. If you need to,
so,
is YouTube. Do you have a YouTube? Do you have a YouTube channel?
yeah, I do. And what I'll do, is, a shame, but I can't even tell you what it is
It's okay. It's okay.
because,
That's absolutely fine.
yeah, I'm
I will
going
put your
to,
TikTok link here.
yeah, I have my link and all that stuff in my bio and TikTok. And so I do have a YouTube. I have IG as well. But, so why would a woman not want a man like the God of the Bible, though they
Mm,
claim this God is love? Is
no
because
thanks.
when you read the Bible objectively, not from what your pastor said, grandma, when you just read it, uh, the idea that the God of the Bible has his own free will, but decided that he would create a scenario where a man and a woman who knows no difference between good and evil places them in a garden, puts a tree, and then says, "Don't touch it," but knew exactly what they would do because he knows the end from the beginning because it's his will, it's his stage. And so, it's almost like watching your child put some cookies on the dresser and say, "Don't touch them." You know they're going to. And so you close the door and you peek and you watch them, and it brings you this joy. Now I'm going to punish
Mm,
them. When you really think about it, the only way that you can extrapolate love out of such a scenario is through Stockholm syndrome. You must be terrified of this God, because to not be able to say that killing all the firstborn boys in Egypt, including the firstborn of the cattle and the firstborn of the slaves, to not conclude that that's evil, if you can't say that, you are terrified of something. And I know what that something is, because to say that that's evil, then they know they would be disagreeing with an action that their God in a book took. And that's the problem. We're taking a book or a collection of writings trying to make them reality, and they're not. And that's why people are so easily manipulated, abused, blah, 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 through the church, because they're telling people, just like I believe, that this book contains your destiny, your life, everything, past, present, future. And it's a lie. The very thing that a pastor does with the Bible, you can give me any book, give me any book, at least it has to have some type of storyline. I don't care what it is. Give me Time magazine, give me a story, and I can preach that story just as well as a pastor can preach the Bible, because it's simple. It's a skill that can be acquired. Anyone can do it.
sorry about that. So right now, right? Um, you're very vocal about not being a believing person. What's your family like? Your own family, your children, your wife. Are they accepting of your unbelief? Are they also unbelievers? What's that like for
Mm,
you?
mm. Well, the cool thing about that is, um, the it's the ex-wife, but the cool thing about that is, I was, even though I was such and am a pivotal uh, fixture in all of my family's life, my children, those that love me and know me, um, they did not fully believe like I did. And they never told me until, like 20 years later almost. Um, my kids told me. I thought like I was that Christian, to the pure, all things are pure. These children are all children of God, and they're giving him glory, and they would do their mime dancing and stuff. And, and it's all, I'm so proud of my kids. But they told me later on that they would be in the back listening to rap and secular music while they were in the church, right? So, and the same thing with the ex-wife, she did not believe to the degree that I did. And so they are just, I love my kids. They're critical thinkers.
I
Um,
see.
and I don't, but no, they're not in the church. I have one of my children. It's kind of funny because I'm the one responsible for their initial belief, and I had them all in church. And so, but all of them are free thinkers, living their
Oh, that's
lives. They are not.
wonderful.
All of them.
Oh, that's wonderful. That is wonderful because
Even my
it,
15-year-old cancer survivor.
oh, 15.
Mhm.
Did you say they're a cancer survivor?
Right, right. He,
Oh,
the
wow.
experience in the cancer hospital with the children,
Yeah.
that we experienced together was an eye opener. That was like,
Mm,
that was the nail in the coffin for me, to know that if a God exists, is not the type of God that we've created out of our minds. This is not a God that is benevolent, that's like, oh my goodness, moves with compassion. No, 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 no. You
mm,
have to see suffering. And when you really see it, and you're honest with it,
mm,
you'll understand that we have a job to do. We have to find a cure. We have to
mm,
get busy and figure out how to prevent this. And that's the motto: is we will not stop until no child dies from cancer. You see? So yeah. Even through that scenario, for people who would say things to me like, well, Shawn, you're going to believe in God once something horrible happens, or you find yourself with cancer. So I would tell them, we went through stage 4 brain cancer and never prayed one time. I had total confidence in the ability of the medical staff, but also I knew the facts, and there was a high probability that he would not make it, but the chance that he would. And so we went, and see, that's the difference between naming and claiming. And I claim this is done. And let me tell you something, you can be heartbroken with that false hope, that unrealistic hope. Be honest with your situation, know what you're dealing with so that you might know the proper steps. I hate it for Jehovah's Witnesses, because I think about all the children, every one of those kids that received chemo and radiation needed blood transfusions. So if they were Jehovah's Witnesses, those children would have died, because they would not have allowed, the parents would not have allowed their children to get blood transfusions, because it's against their religion. It's ridiculous, you know. But yeah, stage 4 brain cancer, never prayed. Doctors did a great job. He's still in remission. But for those who would say, well, Jesus did it, well, he has a screwed up way of performing miracles nowadays. So, you know, how about preventing the cancer, right? Let him get cancer and then have him go through 2 brain surgeries, about 3 back surgeries, spine surgeries, and then now has to be on medication probably the rest of his life to combat the side effects from the treatment. So you want to call that Jesus' miracle? I'm like, really? Yeah.
I tell you, the part that really gets to me is when they say all things happen for a reason. All things work together for good to those who love God and are called by his uh no. So that
Yeah.
means God is taking advantage of your predicament to bring about his good will. I'm sorry. No, 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 no.
Right.
Right? If God wants to bring you goodwill, good tidings, or whatever he does bring, he can just easily bring it to you. Right?
Right.
He doesn't have to torture you first.
Right.
He doesn't have to put you through the ringer first, just
Right.
to show you at the end, oh, I love you. No,
Exactly.
no, no,
Ridiculous.
no. That is abusive. That
Yeah.
is very
You know,
abusive.
would you treat your child the way the God of the Bible treated his children? No,
Oh,
there's no way.
I said I told someone the other day. No, I asked them a question. Can you show me anywhere in the Bible where God says, I love children? And they went on to say, oh, but Jesus said, bring the little kids. I said, I didn't ask you about Jesus. I
Right.
asked you about God. Was there anywhere in the Bible where God said, I love children? Or is there anywhere in the Bible where God deliberately went out of his way to save one child? God said, look, I would not destroy these people because of a child or because of children, right? Oh, and I said to the person, even if you go to the story of Jesus, where Jesus said, suffer not the children to come to me. I said, even Jesus never said he loves those kids. Jesus was using those kids as a talking point. Jesus was trying to tell them something about his daddy's heaven, right? And
Hmm.
needed a like a something to show exactly what he was talking about, right? And those children come along. Those children were just the tool he could use to say, okay, you see those little children, let them come to me, right? Now you guys here, you be as these little children, because that's the way my father's heaven looks like. Now Jesus is using these kids as his talking point. He's taking advantage of even the kids.
Exactly.
Ugh.
Look.
So,
Let me tell you something funny. Let me tell you something funny. So, for those who say, "Well, God is love. He loves you. He loves you," you know, I wouldn't trust anyone, and a God either, that'll kill their own child. So is not, you're not going to get Shawn to hear a love message out of blood sacrifice. It's not going to
mm-mm,
happen.
mm-mm.
And it gets more ridiculous when he said, well, he did it for you. Well, I was born in 1971. You
Oh, he
hear what I'm
loves
saying?
you.
So with that being said, I was not around during the time of, the fictitious time of Adam and Eve or whatever. So their sin, it is a wicked idea to judge second and third and fourth generations for the sin of one. In the Bible, the God of the Bible contradicts himself, because in one place he says that that is something that he wouldn't do again, but then you find him doing it anyway. You know, it's just, that's another story. But we could talk about contradictions all day, you know.
Oh yes, I mean those that they're just
But I
everywhere.
don't
They
trust
covered.
parents who would kill their kids for strangers or
No, no,
people who like
no.
don't even deserve it. Like, I wouldn't even do it for somebody I felt deserved it. My child is not going to be harmed. Period.
This is why the story of Abraham, I think that man should have
Disgusting.
been institutionalized.
Yes.
If Abraham was present today, he'll be in an institution. We wouldn't be calling him
You.
our father. And I'm insulted when people say, "Oh, we are children of Abraham." You count me out of that number.
That's right.
I wouldn't want that man, that
That's right.
guy, to be
Why do you
related to me
honor?
in any
Why
way,
do
shape,
you
or form.
honor? Why do you honor Abraham as the father of faith? Because he was willing to kill his child because he heard a voice. But they condemned Andrea Yates to death, but she wound up going to a mental institution. But she said the same thing. God warned her that the children would lose their souls, so she had to kill them. So here's a woman who did it in real life, and the
Whew.
church said, "Oh, put her away, put her away." But she did
Mm,
exactly what you worship or praise Abraham for doing. And it's your
right.
whole God's MO. Kill my child
Mm-mm,
because I feel this is
mm-mm.
something I need to do. And then he produces followers that if you ask them right now, would you kill your child if you believe that God told you to? Without a doubt. And they'll say yes. That's a scary thought. That's a scary thought. And so the Abrahamic religion and those who look at that God as a loving God and believe if they hear his voice and the voice says harm a child or a loved one, that they would do it. That we need to have a conversation about that, because I feel these people need to be watched. I don't trust them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, guys, I've put the links to Sean's TikTok on the in the comments. Now, when I do get his YouTube links, I will make sure to put a pin on it in the comment section. So do comment, just keep coming and have a look, and I bet you will get a lot of wisdom from this man. Now, Sean, I told you I've got a surprise for you, right?
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you
Aha,
did.
right. I'll
Ah.
tell you what the surprise is, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you're doing on TikTok, whatever you're doing, right,
Mm-hmm.
is getting to some people. It's
Mm.
bothering some people.
Mm.
It's now they have you on their YouTube. They're using your videos as a point of something to talk about and reasons to say no. This is the reason why I choose Christianity, right? Ex preacher says this about God. So hang on tight. I'll show you exactly what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. Right? Let's
Okay.
see here. Um, Not this one. This one. Right, here we go. So this is titled. This guy's this video is titled "Ex Pastor Issues Dark and Dangerous Message to Every Follower of Christ." Do you know how many people have watched this, Sean?
Not many.
387,000 views.
Mm.
And some of the comments, uh, the fact that this guy is still breathing God's air is the proof of how merciful God really is.
Mm.
We need to pray for his soul and all unbelievers. We need to pray for this man. Jesus Christ saved my life. He kept me from suicide. We rebuke every demonic spirit that's tormented him in Jesus' name. Let's pray for this man. Okay, let me go and let's play a little bit of what's making these people almost 400,000 people. This was 4 months ago, right? Okay, so let's see what exactly Shawn had said that made these people all
to experience things alongside of him,
right. Let's
to
see.
live this life and walk on this earth alongside of him until we get to heaven and get to meet him face to face and get to hang out with him for all of eternity, which is going to be lit. You want to talk about lit here on earth? Y'all ain't seen nothing. Y'all ain't seen nothing. Anyway, somebody sent me this video. Shout out to you. Let's get into the video. I'm going to try to keep myself calm, cool, collected, but I can't guarantee that. I'm already kind of amped up. So let's go.
Yes, I am angry. I'm angry because I lived a lie for 15 years and I believed it with all my heart. I separated myself from my family, friends. I moved, relocated, disassociated myself from everyone or anyone who was not saved. I believed that I could not be unequally yoked together with non-believers. So I turned my back on good people or people who needed me. But it was for the cross's sake, right? It was for the cross's sake. Rather than fearing men, I feared the one who can cast both soul and body in that someplace called hell. I took hook, line, and sinker the false story of love called John 3:16. That's no message of love. That's a message of coercion. Twisting your arm behind your back is a message with the ultimate threat on the end of it. While it says, oh, if you believe, you'll get some cake. But if you don't, I'll burn you. Let me tell you something, every believer. Yeah, I'm mad because I care more about people than your God. It is just a book. It ain't real. The God of the Bible is the devil of the Bible. I don't say that to be mean. I say that because it's a fact. It ain't no such thing as a devil. I'm just using the terms that you're familiar with. It was the God of the Bible that drowned people. It was the God of the Bible that sent animals out of the woods to destroy children. It was the God of the Bible who chose to unalive all the firstborn in Egypt, even the slaves and even the firstborn of the cattle. It was the maniacal God of the Bible that did that.
That's right.
And then intimidating you and I so much to the degree that we would see the wickedness of the character Yahweh in the Bible and deny it and say, no, he wasn't wicked. No, it really is our fault. It's us. It's us. No, it's not. Do you know how many people are on the brink of suicide or have committed suicide because they battle within themselves, wondering why a loving God made them the way that he did, but yet because of how they were taught, God, you in your own word condemned me and you made me this way? Do you know how many people are miserable and terrified of the monster in the closet? They can't live their life because they fear that this wicked beast is going to destroy them because they won't find him while he's playing hide and seek. While there's no evidence that he even exists, or if it's a he, it, she, they, them. We don't know. But keep in mind, this proverbial God is the one that created you and I this way. And then the writers rather, said in the book that he established the end from the beginning, that none of this is done outside of his will. So here's what I want to say. First of all, to all you beautiful people out there, ain't nothing wrong with you. You weren't born in no sin, shaped in no iniquity with some death sentence on you simply because you were born. If a programmer developed a piece of software that had a virus, we would think something was wrong with that developer if we saw them going crazy over the software and stomping it, jumping up and down like saying, what's wrong with you, software? What's wrong with you? You're gonna burn for this. We would think that person was crazy. You see it now, right?
Yeah.
You beautiful person who might be gay or whatever. Ain't nothing wrong with you. You live your life. And you're a beautiful person.
That's right.
It is the Abrahamic religion that makes us mistreat people. You're great people. You're wonderful people. We just simply believe the book. And please forgive us. Forgive me because I was the same. I was homophobic like many black men while having loved ones who were gay. How dare you? I will be damned and refuse to lift my hands up for any idea of any type of God that would make me in sin, whatever the hell that is, make me worthy of death. And then tell me if I don't find him in the midst of all of these claimed fictitious ideas called gods, I'm going to burn for eternity. Let me tell you something. If you were real, I ain't nobody's sheep. I ain't nobody's slave. And I'm not scared of you or your idea. So if in fact that God was real, burn me. Because I'd rather be with the people, the real ones. I'll stay with them. Burn me. You want to burn me because I love more than you? That's what I would say. Do it.
Boom.
Because I ain't nobody's punk. And you ain't going to threaten me. And don't let nobody threaten you.
That's right.
Hey,
period.
Listen, before he says anything, I was listening to that and I was like, yes, go Shawn. Look, I could feel your passion. I could feel your passion. And I feel like, look, a lot of people need to hear more of that. That is what people need to hear. Oh, but my goodness, just hear his response. Hear his response, and this is how you will know that Christianity is a cancer. It is a problem. Okay,
Yeah.
ready, Shawn?
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay.
Let me just say this. I don't want what he got. That is a broken man. I don't want what he got. That man is broken.
Gaslight. I
If
love
this
it.
is what it looks like to turn your back on God and to deny your faith, to deny your Father in heaven, if that's what it looks like, I don't want no part of that. You can keep that. You said you want to be with the real ones.
Yeah.
You ask God to burn you. You ask God to send you to hell so that you could be with the real ones.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep that. I don't want no
Yeah.
piece of that.
Yeah.
I don't want no piece of that.
Because I'm a
Because in
man.
all actuality, everything that you just explained, everything that you explained is exactly why you should believe in God, specifically the God of the Bible. Because let me ask you a question. How would you do it? If you were the creator of this entire universe,
Thank
if
you.
you
Great
wanted
question.
to create,
Of all the gods to choose, of all the gods to choose, you choose the God of the Bible, the evil one in the Bible. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, Shawn. Whatever
Why?
he said about you, how dare he call you a broken man?
Right.
How dare he? How dare
Mm-hmm.
he? Look, this man sitting here, right? You see him sitting here? He's
Mm-hmm.
got his own demons he's struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
He's got his secret demons. They always repressing things. These people are always they're always those hidden sins, like they're Paul. Paul says his sin, there's a sin that he couldn't that was like a thorn in his flesh, right? These
Mm-hmm.
ones, before he, who knows, before he got on this platform to come and call you a broken man, might have just been done uh committing one sexual sin or the other or something, right? Lust, whatever these sins are, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's got his own struggles, but sits there and talks about, oh, whatever he's got, I don't want. Like anybody wants what you've got.
But here's the thing, sis. This is the wonderful
That's
thing about it. So I
crazy.
love that type of language. Almost made me quit 3 years ago. But the
Right.
reason why I love it though when he talked that way is because what did you notice about anything he said? Did you notice that he never answered anything that I
No,
made reference to?
he didn't.
Never. They never do. It goes like
No.
this. I give them a truth that they cannot contest. And they know this, and I know this
Mm,
too. But I give them the opportunity to try, right?
mm,
And they
mm,
can't. And so this is what they do. They say,
mm.
well, I don't like your shoes. You get it? It
Yes,
has nothing to do
nothing related
with what
to
I just
the
said.
question
You
that was
understand?
asked.
And so I want them to hear that. I want them to hear
Mm,
him. After they hear
mm,
me, listen to him. And then ask yourself some questions. Why didn't he
mm,
address the fact that to kill little boys who did nothing, right, in the story, little boys, why did he not address the fact that that was evil? Why did he not address anything that I said? So this is what I'm used to. And I know the response before I even hear people. And I know the position that they're going to come from is always going to be a position of fear. It goes like this. I can't believe he said that. I don't have
mhm,
enough heart
mhm,
to say that.
mhm.
And my God knows my thoughts are far off. And I can't show that I agree with him. This man is broken. No, no, I don't know. He was in the wrong church. No,
Gas,
no, see, you wouldn't really
you use the word
gaslight.
gaslighting.
Gaslight.
How does anything you said,
Mm-hmm.
how can you listen to that and think he is broken? He's telling you what he wants. He's telling you what he wants for himself. And
Mm-hmm.
then you call him broken? Oh, I was really
Yeah,
upset
and
by this
broken.
video.
And think about what I'm saying. there is no one on this live or anywhere else that does not have someone of the LGBTQ community in their family. Okay. All of them. So with that being said, I'm broken and I have a dangerous message because I'm telling people there's nothing wrong with you. Okay. Because if you check the suicide rates amongst the LGBTQ, it's much higher than it is amongst the heterosexual community. And there's a reason for that. It is the wicked idea that your sexual preference or whatever it is your fault, and that you are not accepted in the sight of the one that you believe made you. Could you imagine, like, I didn't do this, but the church, the world, in my interpretation that I was given of this book, says that I am an abomination. And so what I say is, no, you're not. No, you're not. I cannot recall a date where I said, you know what? I think I want to be attracted to women and women only. I never made that decision. I cannot tell you when I sat and thought, I want to be heterosexual. And so to say that I'm wrong or I'm broken because I believe people who are born a way, and if they have it, I don't care if they are attracted to both sexes. I don't care. But because the same way I was born a black man, they were born gay, whatever. And they are just as deserving and worthy of human dignity, just like I am, you are. How dare anybody say, because someone has a preference, that they are worthy, not of just death, but eternal torture? I have a problem with that. So if people like that have a problem with me, I say, that's good. That is a great surprise.
Before you get done clapping, well, he's not the only one. There must be something about your message that's getting these Christian men bothered. There must be something. So hang on tight.
Okay.
Right. Somebody else thought they might as well jump on the bandwagon and say something too. Right. Let's see. And this one is titled Ex-Pastor Shawn from TikTok will get his wish. I don't want to be in his shoes. That's the title of his video. Right.
Yes.
Listen to him.
Oh, hang on. Why is he not playing?
Working hard to try to get many people to hell with him. And this is like, I'm just gonna let you
You're trying to take people to hell with you, Shawn?
Oh, I'm powerful. Ooh, I love it. Damn.
Oh, hang on, let's see.
I can take people to hell.
The video is for some reason the video is not right. Let's see. He was going to play it first and then say something about it. Hold on. Why is the video not loading? Come on. Okay, you know what? Let's go to the other one. Let's see. This one might work. Let's see. So the same video seems to be getting these men. Yeah. Can you see this one? Oh, sorry.
6:14, it says, do not be unequally
I
yoked.
thought you guys were. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry about
He
that.
referenced unequally yoking him. Did you catch that? That's 2 Corinthians 6:14. It says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers, for what partnership has righteousness with lawlessness, or what fellowship has light with darkness? Here's what we need to understand about the passage, okay? Paul is first and foremost a Jew. Remember, this is the same Paul who called himself the Hebrew of Hebrews,
Wait,
right?
you
He
talking
was
about
a
me,
Pharisee, that's Philippians 3, right?
Huh?
Trained under Gamaliel,
You talking
that's
about
Acts
me?
22.
Yes,
That
he is.
means
Yes,
that Paul is going to
he
talk
is.
about living according to God's.
He is talking about you. You hang on. He is talking about you. Wait, hold on. Let me take it forward a bit. He's going on about Paul and stuff here and there. I can send you links to all these videos. Okay.
Yeah.
associated with all non-believers. I
If
mean,
you need them,
that's sad. How do you even share the gospel or fulfill the Great Commission then?
I took hook, line, and sinker the false story of love called John 3:16. That's no message of love. That's a message of coercion, twisting your arm behind your back. It's a message with the ultimate threat on the end of it. While it says, oh, if you believe, you'll get some cake. But if you don't, I'll burn you. Let me tell you something, every believer. Yeah, I'm mad because I care more about people than your God. It is just a book. It ain't real. The God of the Bible is the devil of the Bible. I don't say that to be mean. I say that because it's a fact. It ain't no such thing as the devil. I'm just using the terms that you're familiar with. It was the God of the Bible that drowned people. It was the God of the Bible that sent animals out of the woods to destroy children. It was the God of the Bible who chose to unalive all the firstborn in Egypt, even the slaves and even the firstborn of the cattle. It was the maniacal God of the Bible that did that.
Hey, real quick, I'm so glad that you're watching, but did you know that 68% of you that watch are not subscribed to the channel? Can you believe that? That blew my mind when someone, they just start dropping 5 to 10 to 15 points that perhaps are related, maybe not, but they do it all at once. Boom, 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 right? And what about this? And what about that? You know, and here's another thing. What about that, right? Some people are persuaded rhetorically by the cumulative force of such a move. The problem is when you drop all of these points all at once, you don't give the person you're talking to the ability to investigate each one of those points one at a time to see if they actually have an argument there.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so this man says, you know, the God of the Bible is the devil. There's the claim, right? And then his supporting evidence for this claim is, well, God drowned people. Okay, but wait a second. Like, you mean the Egyptians who were coming to, at best, take the Israelites back to Egypt as slaves again, and at worst, to kill them all? So that's what makes God the devil? I don't see that argument. I'll agree that it doesn't make God a lovey-dovey teddy bear. Again, I don't see how that makes him the devil. And then, some of the other things that he lists are not even accurate, right? The God of the Bible sends animals to destroy children. No, he doesn't. Yeah. I mean, that's not, if he's talking about Elisha, that's not even the story at all. Those were not children. Those were 42 young men, potentially priests.
Oh, okay. They were young men, so it's okay.
It's okay to kill the young men.
Okay because they were young men. No, they were not. Sean,
yeah, let's jump over the Exodus story too. Let's jump over the little babies that he killed. But this is awesome though. These guys, they're low hanging fruit. I mean, I would love to talk with them for amusement. It would be great. Totally fine. But I'm very appreciative that it struck a chord.
Yes.
I'm glad you're talking.
Strike a chord with these people.
Yeah.
It did strike a chord. Just one last. Let's see if we can. The other one.
I have because I'm about to.
Okay, you need to go soon. Yeah, I'm nearly done. This is the last one.
Yes, I will listen.
This is the last one. And I will send you the links to these videos.
Okay.
And see, I told you that the devil's doing more to attack it because he knows his time is short and the rapture is coming very soon. He's trying very hard to get people to turn away from Jesus Christ and his love and his mercy, but it's not going to work. But when it comes to animals that destroy the children and whatnot.
Can you pause it real quick? I gotta say something.
To drown the people.
Hey, you know what it feels like? It feels like I'm a character, like I was written into a script, like I'm part of their, the spiritual warfare out there, and he's the one, and he's trying to steer y'all away. It's like, I love it. It's like I'm been written into this script. You know what I'm
saying? Whatever you said in that video, my goodness, you really,
and he's going to accuse God of being wicked and evil. No, listen, the Bible is very clear. Pharaoh is trying to God doesn't condone slavery. That's the reason why the Israelites, Moses had God used Moses to open up the Red Sea, and the Israelites could go along the dry land, and the enemies was chasing after him. And God, through Moses, has closed up the water and drowned these wicked leaders of Pharaoh. The reason why God killed those wicked men of Pharaoh it's because that, you know, the Egyptians is because they try to destroy Israel, understand? Try to destroy his people and try to get them to become slaves. And then when Moses done said, let my people go to Pharaoh, you know, every time he didn't let him go or whatnot, he gonna mention that, well, God is the one that took the firstborn from Pharaoh and this and that. See, listen, this man don't have understanding. So yeah, I'm not gonna argue with no fool, but I'm gonna say this, man. Since this man says that, you know, he ain't no punk, he ain't no sucker, he ain't no coward and whatnot, that man is arrogant, that man is foolish. Because he wouldn't say that was he stayed before a holy God. And he gonna say, well, if I'm gonna burn in hell, I'm gonna burn then. Well, I'm gonna see. I don't want to be in his shoes, because you know why? Because once he died, end up in hell, there's no getting out of there. He's gonna be in torment. He's gonna be screaming like a bitch. For real. You know, he's saying it now while he's never talking about he don't fear God. He ain't no punk. He ain't no this. He ain't no that. You know, but you know, sometimes I may pray for him, I may not. You know, but this man, Shawn.
Say may pray for me, maybe not.
No different than Kevin Weston. Remind me of Kevin Weston. He used to preach the gospel or whatnot, and then I guess like the devil done whisper in his ear.
Right, because you need to go. So yes, I will send you the link to. My goodness,
please do.
This has been good, and I'm hoping that we will get you to come back again, guys. I will once again put his link in the comments. So once again, this is the link to his TikTok. He's got 65,000 followers, 65.7 thousand. The man is a force to reckon with. Unfortunately, I don't have the link to his YouTube channel, but once I get that, I will put this on this stream, right? But thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for putting your face out there, right? Thank you for getting under the skins of these Christians. I think a lot of them have never seen or heard someone go so hard on their God, right? They see somebody and they think, oh, how dare you speak about God in that manner? But hey, we cannot look at the Bible and call that God a nice God. That's a horrible, evil monster in that book. And no, that God is not deserving of worship. He is not deserving of any human being's time, money, or your just no. That God needs to be thrown in the hell he created. Right? So any last words before you go?
Yes.
Oh,
The first thing I want to say.
And also, sorry to do this. The glasses Shawn is wearing, those are Shawn's own production. So watch this space. Watch this space. When they come out for sale, they are gorgeous. They are gorgeous. Them glasses are gorgeous. When are they coming out?
Oh, you guys will be happy to know less than a couple of weeks.
Okay, look forward to that.
We're gonna hit them real hard. But
Okay.
what I want to say real fast is for those who love to get out there, we got some researchers out there. We got people on YouTube, TikTok, all over the place who love to connect people, right? So my desire is to have a discussion with Pastor Gino Jennings. I choose him because I like him. And here's something strange that people don't know about me. So I get it that there are certain people who are going to go to church, right? So and then I'm gonna back up something concerning when I say I like him. You're gonna understand in a minute. Okay. I would tell people, if you're gonna go to church, go to his church. He's not gonna play the games at the Prosperity Preachers Pray. Go there. But if you do go, understand that it's going to be he's going to be extremely misogynistic. He is going to from that book he is going to stand in the position of a man who believes that he is the head of everybody in that building. And so you know, when I say I like him, I like someone who says, yeah, God did it and I stand by it, and it was love. So what I want to do is my challenge is, or my claim is, the gospel is not good news. but it is a message of coercion with a threat of eternal torture if you do not comply with the thing that you don't even have the capacity to understand, don't know if it's true, have more evidence for it not being true, but you have such conditions to meet with your soul at stake. So my challenge is to Mr. Gino Jennings, right? I think I can prove that the gospel message is not a message of love. So that's first. Second, I just encourage people to continue to think, whether it's myself or anybody else, doesn't matter what somebody tells you. I think the guy was saying in the video that I was shooting things out all fast and all that good stuff. Just press pause and then go back. Press pause, go back. Go back to see, fact check to see if what I'm saying makes any sense, if I have any ground to stand on. Because when I speak to believers, that is the situation I find myself in consistently. I stand on what I say, and then I give evidence to back up what it is that I'm saying, but they won't do the same thing in return. So with that being said, I stand on knowledge over faith, knowledgeoverfaith.org. My sister is almost ready to go. You can actually sneak peek. I got a lot more to do. We're going to have merch in there. We're going to have resources, a lot going on.
Well, thank you, Shawn. I do appreciate you honoring the invite, and thank you for your time. I know you are at work, so we're going to let you go. Okay.
All right.
So when you need to, just sign out if you need to, and I can just have a chat with the people. But thank you so much. This has been good, guys. His link is in the chat. Make sure you go follow. Please give him a follow if you've got a TikTok account. I will get his YouTube links and make sure to pin that on the comments of this particular stream. So yes, make sure to come back. And do you post any content on YouTube?
Yes, there's actually content update. I'm trying to think. So it's Shawn.
See if I can find.
I can actually give it to you now.
Okay, let's have a look. Shawn.
And keep in mind that I'm going to be doing some more work to it because it's an old page that I used to do some business on. But let me give it to you. Hold on 1 second.
Oh, no worries.
I gotcha.
Hey.
Okay, so.
And guys, I will let you know that Shawn is the most handsome unbeliever that I know. The man can dress. I tell you, he's always Gucci. Just he's ready for the runway, ready for the magazines. Listen, when this man dresses like.
Oh, don't make me turn red. You know, dark men can turn red too.
You're not going to turn red. You're not turning red anytime soon. No, it's not happening.
Well, look, I couldn't find a link, but I'll make sure you get it, and I'm sure you'll get it to your
It's people. Okay. It's perfectly okay.
Yeah. And so
it's perfectly okay. Once you get it, you send it to me.
Yes,
and then
I will.
I'll put it on I'll pin it on the just for people who do watch this later on and would like to follow you on there.
Great.
But keep doing what you're doing. He's gone. Hey, guys, that was wonderful. That was wonderful. Can you guys still see me and hear me okay? Hey, Al, how are you, my friend? Hi, future neighbors in hell. Listen, hell is going to be a wonderful place. Hey, I get to share hell with lovely people. Just give me that place already. Give me that place already. Hey, hang on, let's see. Oh, okay. No, that's okay. That's okay. So give me the place already, right? Give me. The thing that believers fail to realize is that we are not afraid of your hell. You see, you are afraid of hell. You think, how would anybody not be afraid of that place? Why would anybody want to go to such a scary place? I can't be afraid of that place because it doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. I got called today. Someone said I am the daughter of Satan, and I'm doing the master's my father's work. I said to him, prove to me I'm the daughter of Satan, and prove to me that Satan gave me a job to do. And he couldn't answer. He was just meandering all about it. I said, you said I'm the daughter of Satan. Prove to me I'm Satan's daughter. And prove to me that he says, oh yeah, and you're doing your father's work. Prove to me that I was given a task or an assignment by Satan. Trust, he couldn't answer. He couldn't answer it, right? And you talk about this place called hell, that you've got no idea it exists or not. And guys, the things that I've heard of hell makes no sense. How is it that Satan is my father? So I've worked for Satan here on earth. I've done everything Satan wanted me to do. And then I get to hell, and Satan's now torturing me when I was working for him. Shouldn't Satan be embracing me and say, hey, welcome home, my darling. You did everything I wanted you to do and more. Welcome to paradise. I mean, how is he punishing? And then the book says the place was created for Satan. If the place was created for Satan, how come Satan is now the one punishing us? He's not even receiving the punishment that he's supposed to be getting. So it makes no sense. Then they talk about fire. That whole fire thing does not make sense because we feel the heat. Do spirits feel heat? Do spirits feel heat? No, spirits, they're not human beings that have the sense of the skin that helps you to sense hot, cold, right? You feel irritated by outside things. So how is a spirit going to burn in this place? It makes no sense. They talk about weeping and gnashing of teeth. Do spirits have teeth? Do spirits have tear ducts? Can spirits? Anyway, I don't know if there's any such thing as spirits, but you see that the whole heaven and hell nonsense doesn't make any sense. Even the heaven that they're going to, Jesus says he's going to go and prepare a place for his believers. That place he's going to prepare, that Jesus guy. Hold on a second. How are you in heaven and still living in a mansion? What do you need the mansion for in heaven? When, according to the books, all you're going to be doing in there is bowing down to the ultimate narcissist. That's all the angels and yourself who is in there. You're going to continually, all hail God, all hail God, all hail the God. This is what you're going to be doing continuously, non-stop, for eternity. All hail God, all hail him. So what do you need mansions for? They say you're going to have a crown on your head. Do you know, when I was growing up, the church that I was indoctrinated in, that church told us that for every soul you won for Christ, you are given a crown. If you win 10 souls, you get 10 crowns. So I'm thinking, where is one supposed to pile up these crowns? You know, if you wear a crown, you need one of these. You need one of these things, a head. So how are you going to put? Makes no sense. We're not afraid of your hell. We are not afraid. Bring it on. Tell your God and Jesus, I said, bring it on. It's hell, right? Okay, no problem. No problem. But, guys, if there is a heaven and a hell, if there is a heaven and a hell, as if, I don't believe in the existence of these places, but if there's a heaven and hell, what if God is Satan and Satan is God? And all non-believers go to heaven and believers go straight to hell. If there's heaven and hell, what if the tables get turned? Because when you go and look at the text, Satan and God, Satan is the better character than God is. Satan is way better than the God. The God is an evil monster, right? Hey, so what if you get there? And I tell you, I can just imagine Christians, yeah, when you get to the pearly gate thinking, hey, I made it. Hey, let me in. Let me in. And they're like, who are you? Oh, I'm coming to see my daddy. No, I'm coming to see Jesus. Jesus. And they say, no, there's no Jesus here. No, but I serve Jesus. Jesus is in there. You let me in. And they say, no, there is no Jesus here. The God here is Zeus. That's God. No. I was told that Zeus was fake. He was fake. They said, well, it turns out you were told wrong. So what's going to happen to me? But I serve Jesus. Well, get thee behind me, ye worker of iniquity. All these people that believe in heaven and hell, none of them is guaranteed a spot in heaven. So I'd be very careful condemning people to the hell. I'd be very careful because the tables might turn. Even your Bible says you believers will come standing in front of your God. And your God will say to you, I don't know you. You will be there saying, but I did this in your name. But I condemned those atheists in your name. But I rebuked those atheists in your name. I castigated, I demonized and vilified them. And your God will say, I never asked you to do any of those things. In fact, because you did that to those atheists, guess what's going to happen? Them atheists are coming into my paradise, and you, off you go. And all your monies that you spent in church, all the hours that you spent in church, all the sacrifices that you made, all gone. We didn't even spend one single minute in the church, never spent a dime on your God. And we just, come along, right? Me, I would get there just waiting to be sent to hell because I never believed in the God. And then God will say, oh, come on in. I'm like, no. No, I didn't worship you, God. I didn't want nothing to do with you. Why are you inviting me to your heaven? And God will say, it's people like you I want here. Listen, I don't believe in any of these places, but you get the point. There's no evidence for any of these places. People die and they stay dead. When you see someone die, nobody has seen a dead person get up and start going somewhere. It doesn't happen. So this whole heaven and hell, these are just people's imaginations. These places don't exist. Right. Now that doesn't make a lot. Hey James, good to see you, James. Love one, hello, good to see you. 1/3 head. Okay. Doorknob head. The 1/3 head. That's the $1,000,000 question. What is mansions for? Hell, apparently in heaven, them folks are going to be walking on gold. They're going to be walking on. So they're just going to, oh, look at gold. Look, look, look. How does this make sense? Gold is it's tangible. I don't know. Is God going to come? You know what? Let's not. Because when I do that, that's me just taking you all through my thought process. When I start thinking of this whole religion thing, I ask such crazy questions. I tell you one crazy one that I was asking recently. They say on Judgment Day, okay, we are going to be judged by the God. He's going to judge us. He's going to be sat on his throne. Jesus is going to be on his right, and the ghost is going to be on his left. So these three characters, they're each going to sit there on their thrones. This is what a gentleman said, that all three of them have their thrones. God is in the middle, Satan, sorry, not Satan, Jesus on the right, and ghost on the left. And everybody will come on Judgment Day. So I asked the gentleman, wait, if God is sitting on a throne, what do you need to sit on a throne? What part of your body do you need to sit on a throne? He couldn't answer. I said, okay, hang on. Let me do something. Let me sit down. Right? I dropped myself with my big ass. Yeah. Okay. What am I using to sit on? It's my butt, right? So if your God is sat on a throne, your God has a derriere, your God has a nyash. Well, in my part of the world, we call it a nyash. Your God has a nyash. How big is his nyash? How big is his butt? If God is sitting on a throne, he would need a butt to sit on that throne. And guys, you know there are many questions to ask, right? You know there's a lot of questions to ask. You know that, right? If he's got an ass sat on the throne, now we start asking questions like, does the ass produce flatulence? Is it gaseous? Ah, hmm. Meanwhile, there's Jesus on the right. He also got his own ass to sat on that throne. Then the ghost is on the left. He too's got his own ass. So who's got the bigger ass? Who's got the biggest one? Anyway, you get the drift, right? Who is the ghost? The Holy Ghost. Holy Ghost. Yes, Holy Ghost. Some people call it the Holy Spirit. But spirit, ghost, same difference. Same thing. Ghost and spirit, all the same thing. Yeah, some people call it a Holy Ghost. Holy Ghost, do it again. Do it again in my life. Yeah, they call it a ghost. Yeah. How big is this? Hmm. Listen, if God has a behind, he will have to have something in the front. Because don't forget, God has legs, right? God has definitely got legs, and God has hands. God has hands. When they tell you about the hand of God, they tell you about his feet. He put his feet on the earth and makes the earth his footstool. If God is making the earth his footstool, he's got a feet. He's got feet, but I don't know how many he's got. So, but listen, completely humanized their God. Their God is fully human because now he's got legs, he's got arms, he's got the butt. Does he get up from that throne? That's the question. Because if he has a butt and he's not getting up from that throne, he's going to develop sores. He's going to develop some bed sores in his butt. Anyway, never mind. All right, okay, right. Let's enough of that. If God has a nyash, he also has a prostate. If he has a prostate, does he get it checked? Does he go and do okay? These are the questions. These are the questions that must be asked before believing stuff. These are the questions you need to ask before you start believing bullshit. Why a judgment day? That's a good question. Why a judgment day? Love one. The other day I was sorry, let me get this chewing gum out my mouth. The other day I was reading the Quran. In the Quran, they also have a judgment day. Well, in Islam, they also have a judgment day, and on judgment day, it's the Islamic judgment day. All animals get to come back. The animals will be raised from the dead in the judgment day of Islam. In Christianity, there's not much said about animals in the afterlife, but in Islam, all animals are raised from the dead. And when they're raised from the dead, now, how this came about? Apparently, the prophet sat down and was watching two animals fight. I think it was two goats or something along those lines. But one had horns and the other one had no horns. And the two were fighting. And he was just looking. And the one with the horns won the fight. One of his companions asked him, "What does that mean, Prophet?" And he said, "Well, that animal that was defeated will get its revenge." This is what the prophet said, that the animal that the one without the horn will get its revenge. That on judgment day, all animals will come back to life. It's what they come back for that is the issue. The prophet of Islam said that they come back to life to fight. The horned animals and the ones without horns are now going to get into battle on judgment day. They're going to get into battle, and the animals without the horns are going to win. That's their revenge, because they are going to win that fight. And then all the other humans that are sent to hell, sent to Jahannam, will start saying, "Oh, no, sorry, no, I'm moving too fast." So these animals that are brought to life after the one without the horns has won the fight, then guess what Allah is going to do? After the fight is over and the one without horns is done, guess what Allah is going to do? Allah is just going to flick his finger and turn all the animals into dust. He brings them back to life on judgment day for a fight, and now turns each and every one of them to dust. Why bring them back to life? Why bring them back to life if you're going to just turn them into dust? And then the disbelievers who are in Jahannam will start wishing that they were those animals. They're going to start saying, "Oh, I wish we had the chance to disappear too, like those animals, because we're burning and we're just some ridiculousness. It's so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. God is supposed to be formless, no shape, right? It's weird how some people think. It's crazy. It's crazy. Stupidity. It's crazy. I mean, for some people, they need these beliefs, but I don't. Because they're just toxic. Yeah. Anyway, please, guys, do not forget to give the stream a thumbs up. And yeah, this has been really, really good. Once I get the links to his, let me put his link again one last time. Gosh, the man does he does amazing work. Amazing work. Okay, let's put this in the comments. That's the link to his TikTok. Please make sure to follow. Once I get the link to his YouTube, I'll pin it here. It will be here waiting for you on this particular stream. Right? So, guys, everybody, be good. You all take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk. I want to talk about. Remember, I told you folks that I would talk about the grooming gangs, the child sex grooming gangs of the UK, and the relationship with Islam. The majority of the men in those grooming gangs that targeted young girls, young white girls for the most part, these were Muslim men, the majority of them. Some are not Muslim. Some of them are, just the random. But you see the whole group when you see their pictures. So what is the relationship between what's the relationship between these sex grooming gangs here in the UK? Why have they let them carry on for so long? Right? And so, yeah, let's have a look at the relationship with Islam. Because the things that I've been seeing and hearing, oh my goodness, it is sickening. Sickening. Because they view these little girls as tramps. No. It is horrible. Yes, have a good day, all. Get walk. How are you, get walk? Yes, they couldn't wait. I met a Muslim man that says he's so proud. He said he cannot wait to go and get his 72. Every time I see him, we do make a laugh and joke about it, but he makes sure to remind me that even though we make a joke of it, he is dead serious. He is waiting to go and F his virgins. He is so convinced that place does exist. It is mind-blowing. Mind-blowing, that is. Anyway, folks, you all be good. Good night. Let's see, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here?
Second, I know you feel the beat. Do you feel the rhythm all the way? Can you see the vision? Everything in this world will be okay. Can we be together all the way? I know you feel this movement right here. You just be vibing, reaching for something with Yeah.